A fun and scary memory. When I was in the third grade of junior high school, I stayed in America for about 10 days. Just before I left Japan, I was watching a foreign horror movie in Japan. I was watching, having fun at the time. But when I arrived in America, I suddenly became scared. I was scared that the night would come. Also, it was scary to stay at my host family's house. In addition, the fear increased extra because the host family's house had a deer head decoration. I had seen one in a drama, but when I actually saw it, it was powerful and scary for me. When I couldn't sleep at night, I heard the footsteps of some people. I was trembling with fear. The stone turned upside down. There were two sisters from host family. The last day I stayed, so they brought me a lot of snacks and chocolate. It was a scary and fun memory. Thank you very much.
My terrible experience. I clearly remember that day. I think I was 9 or 10 years old. I was in Peru with my sisters and mother to visit my grandparents. We were going to stay for a month. That day, we were watching news as usual with family. Then the news said that a terrible disaster occurred in Japan, the Great East Japan earthquake. We all were so shocked that we were froze like statues because we all knew that my father was the only one who stayed in Japan. At that time, there wasn't any specific application that could communicate easily. We called and called my father several times, but he didn't answer. We thought about the worst things that could happen. We prayed to God since we were in different country and there wasn't anything we could do. After a week, we were praying in church and my aunt came running out of breath and said that my father had called us. We all ran to the house and called him. He was fine. We thanked God that my father was safe and alive.
I overslept this day and jumped up. I hurried to prepare and leave home. I always go to college by scooter. It takes about 30 minutes from home to university. Moreover, it was raining this day and the road was crowded. Of course, the road was slippery. I was driving as slow as possible. I finally came to the university. The tragedy happened when I was turning the car. The tire slipped and fell. Gasoline leaked and my gloves were destroyed. I learned the importance of having time. I should have had time, get up and go by bus. I thought that haste makes waste means such a good sense. After this tragedy, I got up early every day. Thank you.
This is a story that happened in January of this year. I went to Disneyland with my friend. We arrived at about 9 o'clock and rode many attractions and ate a lot of delicious food. I was excited when I get at Disneyland. I was most looking forward to seeing the lunch parade, but a horrible thing happened. When I was walking in the park with my friends, I was suddenly dizzy and unable to stand, and I ran to the first room and slept for 1 hour. However, after 1 hour, I was able to stand up as if nothing had happened, and I was fine. But the parade was over when I got back up, and it was only the parade that I was most looking forward to. I was depressed because I couldn't see the parade. I wondered why I was sick only at that time. So I want to go to there and get revenge. I thought that day before I go to the land of dreams, I should sleep well so that I won't fall down.
Hi, title of my story is I'm Scared to Stay Home Alone. This was when I was in junior high school. I was home alone. My family was at home of my grandparents who live nearby. When I was watching TV at home alone, I heard a noise. I looked at the direction of the noise, but there was nothing. So I started watching TV again. Then I heard a noise from the same direction. Moreover, many sounds were heard this time. I became scared. The noise gradually became louder or suddenly disappeared. It happened many times. I tried to get closer to the direction of the noise, and I said, "Who is it?" But there was nothing. Still, the noise never stopped. I was at my limit. I left my house barefoot and went by bicycle to my grandparents at full speed. I didn't turn off the TV or lock my house, but I just escaped from my house. I arrived at my grandparents' house, explained to my what was happening at home, and went home with my parents. The noise still continued. But I learned the course. The window was just hitting blinds on the window. I was laughed at by everyone. Thank you.
Last time I was scared driving. I was driving at the night. It, it was the way I went shopping with my friend. It was a dark and narrow. I was having fun talking with my friend. Then wild animals came out of the side of the road. I almost caused an accident. I nearly ran wild animals over. I was surprised because it was so fast. The wild animal was a raccoon. The raccoon was small and weak, but it was very quick. I was scared and my legs quivered. It was about to kill the raccoon. I'm glad I and the raccoon were alive. With Was the raccoon coming down from the mountain looking for food? Are you still alive now? I went to leave a raccoon. I want to be careful even on the road. I'm used to I and the raccoon and safe and happy.
Noise. This happened in winter about 2 years ago. When I was a high school student, I often studied in my room. One day, when I was studying as usual, I heard a strange noise. The noise seemed to be heard from the window side. I was very scared about the noise and thought there must be something there. So I told my mother to come to my room. But the noise didn't come. Since the noise disappeared, I was keeping peace of mind. A few hours later, when I was sleeping, I heard a strange noise again. The next day, we asked the sales engineer of our house to investigate the cause of the noise. Then he investigated and found that a raccoon dog stole into a small gap of the side of the house. When we had total renovations 5 years ago, the carpenters forgot to cover the gap. The raccoon dog kindly told us about the mistake.
This is a story when I was young. One day I was watching a TV show with my family. In the TV show, students were attacked by a bear. Most students were eaten by a bear and died. It was a shocking content for young me. From that day, I became very afraid of bears. Not so much now, but at that time I felt like a bear was outside the window at night, and I was very scared. On another day, when I went to Fuji Safari Park with my family, I was scared to see a bear was walking in front of us. My family said the bear is cute, while they were watching the bear, but I didn't think so. Since I watched that TV show, I'm scared of bears. Bears are more horrible to me than ghosts. That's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Xue Jiexu. My student number is 19M513. I will introduce a frightening story about mine in the childhood, which is about a psycho man. When I was young, I had a terrible experience. At that time, I was still in private school in the countryside. I was too young to face the situation I met them. Every day, my friends and I went to school and go home together. They said there was a psycho man live on the road where we were going. He wanted to take a girl home and make her his wife. When I heard this, I was very afraid and hoped I would not meet this psycho man. But, unfortunately, one day, on the way home, the fabled psycho man turned up. I was so scared that I pushed my bike to a side road, praying he wouldn't come and grab me. However, maybe his target was me in the first place. He came over to me. I was too frightened to move even a step. I watched him step by step approaching me. My body was controlled by fear, and I could do nothing. At that time, my friend shouted to me in the distance, "Run!" Then I just got out of the control of fear, dropped my bike, and ran to my friends crying. Finally, the psycho man left. Although it has been many years since it happened, it still remains fresh in my memory. I hope none of you have such bad memories of childhood. Thank you.
Bring spider. One day, when I got out of the bus and filled with my smartphone, I heard footsteps running very close. I was the only one in the room. I wondered, so I looked for the sound of footsteps. There was a spider of the same size as my hand. I screamed in surprise. The spider disappeared somewhere. The spider didn't show up for a few days, but one day it appeared in the bathroom. The spider was blocking the road in front of the door. I just kept waiting for him to move, because I couldn't touch him. The spider disappeared again after looking at it for half an hour. I lived in fear of meeting again with the spider, but one day my mother met the spider. She caught the spider skillfully and let it go into the garden. The life with me and the spider came to an end all too soon.
I'm going to talk about my frightening story. When I was a child, I was sleeping with my parents. One night, I could not sleep well, but my parents were deeply sleeping. So I was reading a book which my mother put on my bedside. The book was written about a bad boy. The story of the book was a boy who didn't sleep and he's taken by a ghost. When I was reading it, I became very scared. After that, it became more harder for me to fall asleep. Then I heard a sound from outside of the window. I looked at the window frightened, and I saw a shadow. I thought that was the ghost which appeared in the book, and it would take me somewhere. I screamed with fear. Mom! Mom woke up and helped me. So sometimes I'm still scared of the night. Thank you for listening.
I had a dream story. I think I often dream. This dream is a dream story I had when I was young. I was so scared that I still remember. One day I played tennis in the play with my brother. Suddenly, a person wearing a rabbit costume talked to me. We thought it was a cute doll and we were talking to a rabbit. Rabbit asked if we could bring a friend. I said of course. It was people who seemed to be bad. So we become scared. We are going to take us somewhere. We should outrun. Then my grandfather came to help. My grandfather was hit and collapsed, and he did. We cried. The tears didn't stop. Then many people gathered in the park. But people ran away. But my grandfather's life never comes back. I woke up because I was sad. Next day, I called my grandfather. I was happy that my grandfather was alive.
Hi, I'm Yusuke Takei, 19 and 153. The title is My Part-Time Job. I've been working at the Lawson in Kofu at least 5 years. I always do troublesome things and sometimes comes a troublesome customer. We have visit times every day, so customers waiting can't be helped. The woman got angry at me. What the heck is your attitude? I, I'll make a complaint about you. I didn't know why she got angry with me. I was confused and angry. She left after that. Her husband came to me. He was so angry. He said, "Who is Takei?" He acted badly toward my wife. I thought this married couple is insane. So I told him about what happened to me slowly, because he was extremely angry at me. Sometimes he said bad words at me, almost angrily. I said, I didn't do bad things, your wife. Your wife got angry, arbitrarily, and blamed me. I said to him this sentence 20 times, with same attitude. So they won't come to store. I'm so happy. Thank you for listening. That was when I first arrived at this school. I was from the language school in Tokyo because I like the scenery here very much, and they are my good friends here, so I decided to go to school here. Because of the entrance examination, I arrived here one day earlier. We haven't found a house yet. I could only live in my friend's house for a while. I haven't seen my friend for a long time. I was happy to see him again, so we had a drink to celebrate at this time. I've forgotten that I have an exam the next day. We all drank too much. Fortunately, I set an alarm before I go to bed. I was still worried about my condition. When I took the exam the next day, now it seems that kind of behavior is very bad.
Drive, Haruna Kimse. This is a story of the last summer vacation. I like drive very much, so I usually go for a drive. Driving car makes me happy. One day I went for a drive with my friends in the midnight. We went to the mountain to go to see many stars and a beautiful night view. And on the way, we met a big dog. We screamed in the car. We were very succeeded because I thought the big dog would attack me, but the dog did nothing. We are deceived, and then I got my destination safety.
I had a cat 2 years ago. The cat's name is Vivian. The whole family loved it. My house is upstairs and has a veranda. My cat didn't go out, but sometimes we are out to the veranda. There was always someone opening the door and watching. One day, when I was sleeping, my mother woke me up around 5:30. My mother was in great trouble. My mother said Vivian is gone. I searched all over the house, but I couldn't find anything. When I looked at the veranda, it was a little open. I hurried to the veranda with my father and mother, but they weren't there on the veranda. My mother called the cat's name. Then I heard a cry under the veranda, and I looked out the veranda and saw a cat on the floor. I hurried down the stairs to help the cat. The cat was safe and sound. I am relieved that my beloved cat is safe.